Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to all of you to our almost last meeting. We almost finished. Let's try to, today, as I told you yesterday, let's do a summary of everything that we have been talking. So, uh, so we can see a little bit of everything that we have spoken and have all clear. So let's remember, why do we do this gathering? First of all, remember that we have been waiting 12,000 years to make this connection again, to reestablish the wires of the consciousness network. So many of us have come through history to do this in this moment. So why have we chosen these specific dates? Well, let's remember that one of the things that I explained to you is how is a portal. The portals are the conjunction in the network of geometry of the reality. So each one of the nodes represents a portal in space in that geometry, and the codes of numbers represents the portals of time. So there are certain moments represented by certain codes that will tell us about the dates when those portals in space should be open. So we are following the number 2 repeatedly because 2 represents the polarity, which is the axis, and we are choosing that number because the sum of that number may give us the dates for the portal of time and the portal of space. The portal of time being the day 0202, which is February 2nd of 2020. That already happened, but was the beginning of our I Am project. And the end of that project is the day 12, meaning the code of the dodecahedron. And how do we get to the number 12? Making a summary of the numbers 2202 2022, which is the date of our gathering next month. So what is a network of consciousness? A network of consciousness, remember, is a pattern of data. Is the pattern of data that is the conjunction of all these different data that share information, shaping these geometries. So remember that a network of consciousness is actually a pattern that is constantly information with data. That's a network. It's a conjunction of data, of information. Remember also that a network of consciousness has been designed by the entire universe just by sharing data, trying to expand the data and the awareness of who we are. So the entire universe, in a different way than humans, started to spread all this information throughout the entire cosmos. So what happens with a network of information, which is not something that you have to complete in order to be perfect? It's something that is constantly in expansion and weaving itself into different realities. So it doesn't mean that what we are going to do in February about connecting the network means that everything is going to be perfect or we are going to save the planet or something like that. No, we are actually trying to do connection, trying to connect a lot of data that has been disconnected for a long time, and that it is useful for the next civilizations to come. It is useful for the new generations. So this is a constant job. This is like a spider web. It's not like there's only one and that's it. You have to build it and rebuild it, and this is always like that. This is all the time like this. So it's just changing, it's just connecting data. Okay, so it's different from the idea of some religions of having a paradise and that we are reaching for perfection. This is not like that. This is just repairing data. Okay, so it can be useful for the next networks to come. Okay. Remember, which was the first pattern of network that the universe has created? The tetrahedron. Okay, the tetrahedron is the first one. What do we get from here? The concept that one being, one consciousness, the unity, expands itself into a trinity called vibration, energy, and matter. So this is why the self, the higher being, the essence, projects itself into our reality through vibration, energy, and matter. So from this reality, the entire being of the universe will double itself, project itself into duality, creating another tetrahedron down, with this here being now the ego, the individual, the one that is anchored down. Okay, this one here, the individual. And then this individual, the ego, will have to project itself into another trinity, finding the essence, which is through wisdom, will, and love. So this first network is the one that, by multiplying itself, what had created the Merkabah, the structure of the Merkabah. Okay, so Merkabah is the first network vehicle of light that we call the vehicle of the I am. I am. I am. Okay? So remember that this is the main pattern and basis of creation. So if I activate that in me, I recognize this power in me of the first network ever created, so I can be touched and touching every one of the other networks around. So we have here that if I connect with the I to the and the to the I, so the ego with the essence and the essence with the ego, and both connected through the right vibration, energy, and matter, through wisdom, will, and love, if we have all that, we are weaving the main network of consciousness that we can ever build, that can connect us to the entire cosmos and entire universe. So this is why the Merkabah should be activated by ourselves, because this is the most basic network. If we want to activate the entire network of consciousness everywhere, so we have to activate first our own. And this is the most simple and easiest activation, okay? So inside the Merkabah, when you have both, in the core, this shape is created. Remember, the octahedron. The octahedron is the divine seed, is the sacred heart that represents the seed of creation itself. So this one here, the octahedron, is the one that we have to activate in our hearts. This pattern, the octahedron, you must locate it in this way, with a triangle down and a triangle up. So in this way, you know how to sit for the meditation, to activate the the Merkabah. The way we do it is by sitting with our legs crossed like this, okay? And we can find here on the back the coccyx where we sit our spine, then our knees in both sides here, our knees, coccyx, the knees, okay? And here we have the hands or the shoulders like this, hands and shoulders, and in front we have the chest, so the heart. So in this way, you can position yourself into the meditation, and you have this triangle here up that represents the head. Okay, so that's why the octahedron is the base of your being. So as you see, these are the main networks created for the universe. So both of them are the position of the meditation. So you see it here, the seat, but actually it's better to see the position of meditation in this tetrahedron. As you see the coccyx here, back, and then your knees and hands with your spine on the back, your arms towards the hands and the knees, and the head on the top. So you see the position of meditation in the tetrahedron. So when your being here connects with the other being coming down, it connects the Merkabah that in the core will create the seed of life. And in the octahedron, the seed of life, we can see there the Merkabah again, the David star. Star of David. So remember, what do we have to do in order to be ready and activate these two in ourselves? So what do we have to do in order to activate that Merkabah for this task? Basically, to think about all the things that moves you the most in a positive way regarding these 6 topics, which are: what is the thing that you put more energy in? What is what you resonate the most with vibration? What is the physical thing that keeps you fully in this reality that you love the most? What is what you love the most, what you put all your love in? What is your biggest wisdom? Those things that you have talked to others and helped others with. And what is your biggest will? What are you? What are the things that you are doing in which you can say, I have will to do that? So these are the 6 things that you have to have in mind in a positive way in order to expand the Merkabah and hold it during the entire task that we will do together. So after these main two, we have the appearance of the hexahedron. Remember, the hexahedron, which by opening its faces gives origin to the dodecahedron, which is the origin of the sphere and all the planets and realities. And this one gives, this one holds this other one, which is the icosahedron. So the icosahedron is the last one on appearing. So as you see, these are the 5 main networks that have been created in the universe to hold the consciousness. So remember, these main 5 geometries of patterns of consciousness are the ones that that has made a summary of the entire universe. So what we in our planet and Earth have done was to put all those concepts of the universe into one element that represents that geometry. So when we speak about the element of nature that represents the geometry, we encode into this one all the information of that network that is in the entire universe. So when we talk about all the information regarding the tetrahedron in this planet, we say fire. So this is fire, the element fire. Then when we talk about all information regarding hexahedron, we are talking about the earth. Okay, this is the element earth. Then we have all the information related to the dodecahedron, which is encoded in the element of water. And all the information of the icosahedron is related to the element air. As for this one here, the information related to the octahedron is encoded in the element of ether. Remember that these 5 relationships with elements are not related specifically to what the Platonic solids mean or what the Greek philosophy used to say about them. Okay, remember, I am being guided by the idea or the philosophy of Atlantis. Okay, so according to how the Atlantean people used to teach it, we are using that one. Okay, this is why our event is divided into these 5 main groups. We will have the group related to fire, the one in water, the ones in earth, the ones in air, and the ones in ether. So the group water will have the task coming 1 week before to go throughout all the temples and grabbing all the information, taking all the data as possible to bring it through the water, through the Nile, to the pyramid. The group fire is the one taking all this information and making it ignite into fire, into light. So expanding all this consciousness, making it clear. So the task of earth will be to hold the axis of Egypt, because we will be expanding all this information all around. So we need the axis very strong. And that's why the group Earth will be working with that anchor so we can be in the axis. And of course, for the last ones there in Egypt, we have the group Air, and those are going to be spreading all this information towards the nodes, all the things that we are going to be working with in the pyramids. All of that is going to be spread by the group Air. And for the last one, in the entire network, all the people that will be around in their own places, not coming to Egypt, your task is the ether group, which will be receiving all this information to these places and started to download the information, okay? Download all that and receiving it in your hearts. And with all that love, you will deliver all this to each living being in your territory, or every wall, every mountain, every animal, human, plant, everything. You put all that into everything. So fire and water are the only ones that will go inside the pyramid. So these 2 groups are the ones working inside, expanding everything to the network, and they will. I explain exactly how it's going to be in another video, but just for you to know, these groups will be entering the pyramid every night from the 19th to the 20th, from the 20th to the 21st, and from the 21st to the 22nd. So these 3 nights, there are going to be 5 groups each night of 99 people. Okay, so everything is coordinated, organized for everyone. So the pyramid is like the amplifier of everything. It's like the one that expands the information. So these 3 nights, we will be working inside the pyramid doing all this. So the group Earth as I said, the activation will be activating the Merkabah, but this time going within and down to the Earth, not expanding, but going to the core of the planet. That will be the task of the group Earth. So holding the axis. But don't worry about specifically what to do, because you will have your task in the event. Someone will guide you to do everything. So for the air, the task, remember, is going to be to spread all this information around. So that will be held during our activations all together, where also the group of Earth will be doing the activation with all of us every evening. But as the Earth is seated and strong, the air will be flowing, like dancing, moving around, and in between the other people. So you can spread into every direction all this data and information that we are working with, like within the network. So I will ask for the group air to at least know where are the directions of those nodes, where to look to. If you look into the videos that I recorded previously this week, I explain where are all these nodes of the planet. So check for them so you can know exactly where they are. So as I said, the group water will bring the information, the group fire will ignite the information, the group earth will anchor the information, the group air will expand information through the network, and the ether will activate the essence of all that in every spot where you find yourself. That day, the 22nd, which is the portal day, we will move all together to in front of the Sphinx, which is the place where the concert will be held. And in the concert, each one of us will have that specific task that I just said, but it will be shaped in a way of a concert. So in the concert, we will have the task of singing. So we all gonna sing, and at the beginning will be songs for our own activation to be all in the same frequency. Then we will have the activation of the sacred names, which are our letters for each one of the groups. Then we will have music to remember the path towards the I am, and then we will sing the I am so we can anchor that information in that place. All the logistics I already explained in other videos this week, but just for you to know, everything will be online. We will have like a QR code, so you can access that and see the entire schedule. So you can check there everything, so you don't miss any activity, and you know where and when do you have to be, to go, to do. And of course, for the group ether, in the same schedule, you will have the timings and the place where you can watch online, so you don't miss the activations. For the group ether, I encourage you to get together. Maybe if you are living in the same city, or you go to the same sacred place, maybe you can join together and do something together to make it much more powerful, what we are spreading in every place. Also, I would invite the ether group to add us in any post that maybe you do, or stories in Instagram, posts in Instagram or Facebook that you might do. So take pictures, take some videos of the activities you are doing, so we can share also in our social media. So tag us with @Matias Gustavo de Stefano or Fundación Arsayan, both of us, please, so we can share what you are doing in the places where you are. Okay. and we can show everyone that we are working in a network. So for you to know, for everyone uh, to realize this, this is the final task of something that personally myself and many of you for sure have been doing for a long time. This is the final task for something that we couldn't complete 12,000 years ago, which is why I remember that life. Well, why I remember all my past in Egypt. And so since I was 12 years old in this life, I have been brought to do these activations, to do these trips all around the world in order to reactivate this network. So what we are going to do this February is the final activation that we will all do together for the past. Is the last thing that we will do like this, and at least it's my final task in all this February, for all the things, the missions that I have been asked to do since I was 12 years old. So that's why for me it's very special. Remember that 12,000 years ago, the Atlantean network started to end, and the disconnection came to the planet, but it was a natural process pushed by a social process. And right now we are starting again in this new time for the future. It is starting all over, this reactivation of everything. So that's why we gather everyone to prepare, to sow a seed for this to restart. Okay. So what is this network? This network is not new. It's not something that we have to build up. It's something that is always there. It's like the brain with all the neurons and data. It's sharing data and information. But all this information is being shared by the unconscious and the subconscious. So it's not aware of itself. And what we are going to do, and the process we are starting to do, is basically like that moment when you go to therapy and someone tells you something that makes a click in your head, like that aha moment that you say, now I get it. It was all there in my mind, but it was disconnected. So what we are trying to do is to reconnect that network and bring this consciousness to the information that is already here, okay, to connect the dots. And this is what I wanted to talk about today with this summary, which is the intention in all this. The intention is basically to put awareness in all this data, all this information that is already there. So the main intention that we must have for this entire event is to think that we are neurons of this planet. We are the neurons of this planet that has information within, but it needs to connect with others in order to spread that information. And in order to become that aware neuron, we have to recognize that we are all these networks, that these are the main patterns of this consciousness that has been created. That's why we have to activate all that. And in our planet, in Earth, we call these patterns like fire, earth, water, air, and ether. Those are the names that summarize the entire information of the entire cosmos in our world. So what we are doing is to put in all that together, activating that in ourselves, and start to connect with others And the main intention we are going to set in all of this is to unite all the different parts that are separated from each other. All the different parts, all the different members getting back together. That's the main concept. So the word that summarizes all this is to remember, to put the members together, to remember. In the same way as me, myself, when I was 12 years old, was brought to remember. I had to remember the past in order to be able to how to remember the present, so I can remember myself, which is come back to the I am, to the being who I am. So this remember, remember, remember are the 3 steps that we have to give in order to accomplish the intention of this gathering next month. I will recommend to you to check the video that we did that summarize everything that we are talking about. There's a video, this video, it's in black and white and sometimes in colors. And in this video, I say the 3 remember, and I explain stuff, remember, I explain stuff, remember, I explain stuff, okay? So this video, this short video of almost 3 minutes, is like a summary of the intention of this gathering. It's the summary of everything. And I would recommend for all of you to check that video many times for this event, because what it says there is the summary of the entire thing, of the entire intention, okay? So you can check, I put it in Instagram, it's in YouTube, in the website, in Facebook, everywhere. It's everywhere. So you can check it and listen carefully to each one of the words, because they're not simply sentences in a story. Every one of the sentences that I say is a universal law. Every one of them is a process in the universe. Every one of them is the description of each one of the elements and how all of that take us to the I am. So I would recommend to watch that once and again so you can feel it, so you can remember also. The video is in Spanish and also in English, so you can find it everywhere everywhere in my social media. So when you open the website josoy2022.org, at the beginning the video pops up, so you can watch it there. I'm not sure if this is going to be able to be heard, but let's try it. Remember. In the womb, I heard the voice calling me to birth. At heart's rhythm, its harmony vibrated in melodies. Music illuminated, expanding to the world. My mind became emotion and created life. I saw the deep beauty wide along the world. I walked it north to south to find me in the center. Remember my past, protected my future, and enjoyed my present. I had my ups and downs, but I found my axis. No bad, no good, I was a rainbow. I became wise, loved unconditionally, and manifested my dreams. I resounded, write it, and so I am. An edge of matrix, a pattern of music, a web of existence. Remember, my dream is an idea that originates the thoughts of the world. My eyes can see through you. Your eyes can see through me. We are echoes of the great universal symphony, resounding in the infinite. To the rhythm of the heart, our existence is an eternal ring contact. My intention is your existence. Your action is my essence. We are both lovers, remembering being one. And our pulse is the creation itself. I am you, and you are me. Remember, remember who you are with me. I am the origin of life, the memory that lives in you. Everyone you were, you are, and you will be. I am the divine spark that enlightens your actions' potential, the beat that irradiates your light to the world. I am the pillars of existence, the path that leads to the only destiny, oneself, here and now. I am the singing that resounds in each being's voice, the breathing of consciousness. Remember, unite the world's web through time and space. It is the moment to rebuild the dream. Remember that I am. So this is the video that I recommend for you to see, to hear, because it's not something that I just say. It's not me saying it. It's the I am. It's the concept of the I am. So it was like detected by the I am to describe its history, its path towards itself. So I wanted for it to be recorded here because I wanted for you to have it, to have the sense here of the intention of why are we doing all this. This doesn't mean that something ends, actually. It ends only one part of the path, which is these planetary activations. And from this March on, we will start with holding all the things that we have done, which is the process of holding the vibration between all of us. And what is regarding myself, I will dedicate my time to start working in ontocracy. So from now on, when we are already finished with all these activations in February, since March, a new chapter will start in which all of you, not myself, all of you, through the foundation, will start to hold this activation every solstice and equinox. So 4 times a year, we will start doing the activations, doing the connections in different nodes of the planet. But it's not me that I am supposed to do it. It's you. So the foundation, the RSM Foundation, will hold these trips for the people, so you are able to travel. Okay, for those who are committed to hold this activated. And remember that the process of ontocracy is basically how to download all this information of the network into something that is social, that is much more related to politics, economics, culture, all society. So we can design these networks for the new systems to come. The goal for this February is to be able to connect all this network and then start the process of holding that connection all the time throughout the years in these 4 times a year, solstices and equinoxes, so we could manifest, download how to bring all that into a social, much more social active system. So this is the intentions and how everything that we are gonna do in the future, holding the patterns, are gonna be because what we have done this February. I remind you that this is the information, the summary of everything. I remind you that in the first day, I talked about the main info of the event. Why do we do it? And the second one about the history. And the third one about the network and the nodes. In the fourth, I talk about the elements. In the fifth, I talk about the Merkabah. In the sixth, I talk about the groups and the letters. In the seventh, I talk about how everything is going to be activated in oneself. In the eighth, I talk about the activation in the pyramid. In the ninth, I talk about the task of every element. And the last one yesterday, I talked about the task in the Sphinx, the day 22nd. So you have all the details in those videos. And today, of course, a summary and the intention that we have in all this. So for tomorrow, we will not explain anything. We will do an activation. Okay, we will activate all this as an alignment. So we will meditate, do the alignment, activate all these patterns in ourselves, and do a little practice of how everything is going to be. So be in a quiet place, in a very silent place, so you can concentrate, focus in the music and my words. Okay, so that's what it's going to be tomorrow as a preparation for the entire thing. So thank you everybody for being here as always, and see you tomorrow at the same time for this great preparation and alignment for the event. See you tomorrow.